Okay, this is part number 6, and so far I have gotten you to the blaze in part number 5. Go back and watch that if you want to see how to get to the blaze. From there, we're going to go forward. Okay, this is an important announcement brought to you by Opinion. So go ahead and read this. Please don't get your undies in a bunch over anything that I say here. Remember, in your mind, it should be fiction. That's all I'm talking about. I'll go from there. And please leave a comment, subscribe, do something, ask a question. I will answer them. Especially ask me to explain something in the thrill of the chase or something you'd like to know. And if I have the ability, I will answer it the way that I see it. And just be kind to my feelings there, because I don't want to cry, man. Come on, be nice. Okay, back to the poem. After we got to the blaze, it says, look quickly down, your quest to cease. So you're like, okay, we're at an end. And we're done, but we're not. It says, but we're not. But Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze. So I admitted that I had more things to do because it says but. Upon further study of that particular line, Terry Scant is 10 letters and Marvel Gaze is 10 letters. So you get an X and an X. So I've found one omega. Oh, well, I think we even got down to the bottom, the first omega, which is 33. So anyway, I guess I've taken you past the blaze. Sorry for the confusion, but we're now at marker number 33. So we've gone one step past the blaze, which is look quickly down, your quest to cease. That takes us to the first omega, and that's covered in number 5. Anyway, upon further study of that particular line, Terry Scant is 10 letters, Marvel Gaze is 10 letters. The line became very important for the last clue, which is in the poem. I decided the line meant to stay for a second at the marker 33, and with intense stare like down a gun barrel, and there's lots of guns in the thrill of the chase that hint you to this. Plus you get the BB gun at age 8, and 8 is an asterisk or an omega. So anyway, look back towards the blaze. From this angle, the blaze looks like a gun sight, and you can actually see the grave marker that is the other end. Also, the word value for gaze is 39, and that is the real blaze. Okay, so gaze has a word value of 39. You did A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C is equal to 3. So if you count up gaze, you get 39. So it's actually Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze with the blaze marker, and you shoot across. So if one line up the marker with 33 and 39 and then shoot across the cemetery, and he uses bridges, bullets, all sorts of airplanes to get across to the other side. Well, the mirrored side. One is at the other end spot, which a grave marker is 15 or 3. If it took them 15 years to write the poem, so there's number 15, and it just happens to be that this is line number, but Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze is number 13, the 13th line in the poems, or I mean the 15th line in the poem. Sorry, got that wrong. So that takes us to 15 or 13. If you look at this pattern from above, it makes an X in the right spot, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's go ahead and look at what I'm talking about here, and then we'll go from there. So Just a second. Okay, we've got this. You can see my little pointer going around circles. This is the blaze. That took us to the blaze. And then look quickly down. Your quest to cease took us down to number 33 right here, which is 33-2. And it also has these other numbers. And then this is a mirrored one. So we're actually going to Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze. And we're going to shoot across on the mirrored side of the cemetery, and we're going to hit this marker right here, which is actually this marker right there mirrored over to here. And then we have these numbers, and it's 15 and 13. So that's how it works. Stand here, shoot across, and boom. And he says it's even his front sight was just a little bit off in when he's 8 years old and he gets his BB guns and he's shooting birds, which birds are 33 for word value, and BB is 22. And I'm just going to show you something really great here. I don't know about how these how this is going to work, but this one's too good to pass up. Okay, if you go to Once Upon a While, the revised, which just happens to be the third. Anyway, there's a lot of hints there. But we turn to page 33, and that takes us to number 33 right here. All right, we're down at 33 right there. And then if you go with 33, you get the BB gun, and that's actually 22 too, which is BB. See, B equals 2, B equals 2, 22. Anyway, you get it. And then we shoot across, and we use 32 as our sight of our gun. Okay, and that we can see is also the number of right here. This is 32 for the blaze. So we're on page 33, shooting across 32, and now we're going to shoot up here, and we're going to use one of these numbers that actually 15 and 15 mirrored equals 30. So we've got 30. That's how Forrest Fenn worked in his clues, is like a 13-year-old. Come on, let's make some of these things up a little bit, but they make sense in a way. Some logic there, so that we have the number 30. So we're gonna shoot from 33 to 32 to page 30, and it's all in the same chapter, and we'll get to that. So let's see, we're right here shooting across the page 30, and we get this, and this is going to be more significant as I go, but we're in the wood. We're brave and in the wood here, and it's red, and we hit it, and it's called Me and Little Beaver. So there's you some, and there's way more hints throughout this whole chapter here, but I'm just showing you one that's so obvious once you understand. So there we go. Okay, so now we're at this marker right here, which is an important one, 3 and 15. And this is going to tell some good pirate stories. So just a second. We got our little pirate thing here. One extremely important clue is the marker of a 5-year-old that was killed by his mother. She slit his throat from ear to ear. Additionally, the boy's father was a wheelwright, and that is extremely important because try the wheel, all these wheel things. So the boy's father was a wheelwright. Another notable clue is that the boy's grave marker has socks and shoes carved in its stone. Let me show you that. Each of these facts are very important clues in finding the end omega, the second omega. The phrase try the wheel from the poem also comes into play. I found all this information from the book titled Death in Yellowstone, 2nd edition. This book was written by Lee H. Wesley. This book, first published in 2014, was critical to my my find. After some investigation, I did find that a first edition was published in 1995. If I hadn't found this book, I would have thought I needed to obtain permission and then study Yellowstone historical archives. And you can find the needed information on the web, but it is sparse and hard to do. The information on the web came from the book Deaths in Yellowstone anyway, and Witz Weitzel's anyway did his research in the Yellowstone historical archives. The story goes something like this. So just a second. George Tiskman was a wheelwright and a carpenter at Fort Yellowstone. He and his wife, Margaret, had 4 children, Henry, Anna, Elizabeth, and Joseph. In the spring of 1899, Margaret was not doing well mentally. She attempted to cut her own throat. Upon recovering consciousness, she blamed the incident on a man that wasn't even there. When it was proven that no one else was involved, the woman was committed to the Montana Mental Hospital at Warm Springs. A few months later, medical personnel felt the wife had recovered, and her husband brought her and the kids to Fort Yellowstone. 4 days later, she seized her youngest child, 5-year-old Joseph, and with a hunting knife cut his neck from ear to ear. She almost completely decapitated the boy. She then started to chase the other children, but they ran to the neighbor's home. The authorities came and found the woman to be out of her mind, of course. She was found to be mentally incompetent and was to be transported and committed to a hospital in Washington, D.C. While on the train, she somehow got loose and jumped into the Yellowstone River. The conductor backed the train up, but searchers could not find her. She nor any remains were ever found, even though her husband continued to look for her body for months and years. The 3 surviving children went on to take positions of employment within Yellowstone National Park. The 2 girls ran a concession stand called the Devil's Kitchenette, which is where Forrest Fenn bought his drinks, soda pops, and so forth. And he was in the area while they were running that kitchenette. There is a connection, I believe, within the thrill of the chase. No place for the biddies. Anyway, the son Henry went on to be a scout and a ranger in the park, where there is a mountain peak named after him. Okay. Clues that the murdered young boy was tied to the end are given in several quotes by Forrest Fenn. Every redneck in Texas. So he's telling you, there's a redneck. Was his audience for the chase. Forrest stated this in an article published in the magazine Backpackers. In this article, there is a picture of Forrest with his book. He is holding he has a red scarf on and has 3 fingers touching the treasure and red across the throat. Anyway, so basically, with his 3 fingers touching the picture, it's in the back. You got to look at this Backpackers magazine article on Forrest Fenn, and he's touching the chest with 3 fingers, and he has a red scarf on. It's just a great subtle hint. Anyway, we're going to leave this one off and go on to number 7. Hopefully you'll subscribe, and I'm going to produce it all the info. I'm just going to keep kicking it out until somebody tells me to stop, or everybody's tired of it. I don't know, or I'm tired of it. Anyway, keep smiling. Talk to you later.